had a question for you. I want to get into your personal experience with ayahuasca and a spiritual experience from that, because I have had personal experience with intense, I guess we'll call them, the Japanese have a word for it called satori, instant awakening, that I've described in a few past videos, but I've never experimented with ayahuasca. I'm always curious to see what certain drugs, I have experimented with certain drugs are altering things that alter your state of consciousness that aren't natural, I guess we'll call it, but we can debate semantics.
A lot of them are plants and, and fungi.
We could question that, but I'm just for the sake of argument call it natural. Like alcohol and drugs, they'll call unnatural. We'll call it natural for the sake of argument. Yeah. And they do affect your perception of a spiritual experience. It's just in a different way, and then you can kind of sit back and analyze. Like there's always this awareness, right? That's aware of the experience, things arising, but there are different experiences, and I think these things should be talked about. So for a lot of people who haven't experimented with ayahuasca, myself included, and who are curious as to tie that into a spiritual kind of experience, what was it like for you? Would you do it again, and why?
Well, I did it 3 times when I stayed in Peru, because I was only there for 5 days and 4 nights. Which it should have been more if I want to have a more authentic and realizing experience. But of course, I'm always poor, so I don't have money and all that. So, so I really though, like every night I made a bunch of ground in myself, and every night it was like the first night it was a very positive experience. I was asking all these questions to the universe, and I was getting a lot of answers that felt like it was truth, like it wasn't me lying to myself or something. It was just unreal experience that alters your consciousness you have to experience that. The second night was pretty much emotional hell, and I was having trouble throwing up, because you're supposed to throw up the ayahuasca, but all 3 nights I never threw up the ayahuasca. I always had a little weaker dosage of it, but still I had trouble throwing it up. So there's a lot of emotional things in me, and it really tied my stomach in with my thoughts, and I guess with my spirit and integrating my body like together. And the third day was kind of like the realization, I guess the main thing that happened was I realized, this sounds all spacey, but I realized this really high frequency, and ever since then, even when I use substances like marijuana or alcohol, anything really, even smoking hookah that I was unsuccessful with earlier, I can hear this frequency, and it's like I gain that through the ayahuasca experience. So and even when I'm inebriated with alcohol, it's like that new level of experience is gained every time, and it's like my awareness is just expanded, and you can do whatever, and it's just your awareness that counts, I think. Have you guys had any thoughts on that? Like, I don't know if I'm just crazy thinking this myself.
I haven't. I actually once tried to brew my own ayahuasca by ordering the Banasteris capi and the other plant, the vine, online, and then boiling it up myself. It was a bad idea because it didn't work. It tasted about as gross as it should have.
Yeah.
But I think there's an element of, I can only call it magic, that the shaman who actually makes it understands this magic, and it's just a very special skill, if you want to call it that instead of magic, that the shaman has, that allows him to know just how much to add and how long to cook it and how to stir it, that actually activates the psychoactive element of ayahuasca. I just kind of tried to steal, I feel like I tried to steal a traditional indigenous method of spiritual.
You tried to make it fast food instead of
I tried to make
fast food.
I tried to have it shipped to me in the package, and be ready to prepare.
Well, it's not too bad of an idea considering how much it freaking costs to fly there. Yeah. It's like $1,500 for my ticket, and I mean that was unheard of really for me at that time.
Yeah. But the way you described the experience, though, of actually, you said that you realized that your stomach was actually connected with the rest of your body and your mind, and that somehow your emotional state was the way that your body was related to everything else, or your stomach was related to your body?
Yeah, it was a very traumatic time, because it was probably one of the most traumatic things in my life. It was almost like going through a constant car accident. It was weird because it wasn't necessarily visual, or a car accident knowing you're going to hit something, but you just, it's like that feeling of the anxiety and stuff. Yeah. And like my whole body was, I knew it was going on, I could control it, but I was just letting my body do what it wanted to do. And a lot of, there's a lot of tension and like energy going through my body. And, then when I couldn't throw up, I was thinking to myself, oh shit, is there something wrong here? Like, am I going to fucking die if I can't throw this up? And I start panicking. And then the shaman, Scott Peterson, he comes around and he's like, it's okay. And he said something to me, I can't really remember, but he just kind of sent me this thing saying that it's all going to be okay. Just, you need to get through this. And, then I finally did get through it. I didn't throw up, and apparently I read and I found out afterwards your stomach can handle it, but it's just usually it makes you throw up.
Right.
And so that's what happened with my body. That was quite interesting.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people say that the experience of purging, though, is actually the emotional release, right? And that's where you feel like you're experiencing some kind of a healing. So I can see
exactly. So kind of funny how I couldn't throw it up then, right? Yeah. Connect with emotions and.
Right. But psychedelics in general, I guess in altering your consciousness, they show you that your ego actually isn't in charge of anything. So that it almost forces you to give in to this larger ocean of experience and psychological and emotional and intelligent energy that's around you.
Yeah, I have that experience with psychedelics before, and it was a little bit like that scene on The Matrix where, you remember the spoon scene? Just realized the spoon's not there. Huh? So things started doing that kind of thing. It wasn't, but I guess the metaphor there, and this could be done without psychedelics, I think that drugs or things that can alter your state can be an aid to remove that barrier that invests so much energy in believing that this form of reality is quote unquote real. Everything that you see is real, solid. It's not this matrix type environment. There's no questioning that this could all be fake or illusory, and I think that wall gets broken down with a type of enlightenment or a type of spiritual experience or an expanding of your consciousness or awareness, like you said. And I think that is a very common meme or common thing to say in spiritual experiences, is an expansion of awareness. In fact, I think that's probably one of the number one kind of things that people associate with a satori or enlightenment or a spiritual oneness is that kind of expansive feeling.
Right. And then I guess some people say that, that drugs or intoxicants or these types of substances, mind-altering substances, are actually a hindrance to the spiritual path, because while they may show you temporarily these more connected realities, they only show it to you, and then as soon as it wears off, the veils return and you're stuck in your normal life again.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you avoid that pitfall? How do you actually apply these psychedelic insights? That seems to be the trick. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. The balance of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's, balance makes it sound like it's not a constant battle. There's strife involved in the effort to balance things.
Yeah.
So it's balance sounds nice and majestic, but it's got that aspect, but it's also something that must constantly be maintained with constant vigilance, right? So,
yeah, that's for sure. Gotta have that mindset. Right. Once you do have the mindset, you can't really lose it. You're kind of stuck on this path, but mean, where else would you go?
Right.
Just.
Where else would you go? Exactly.
Yeah.
There's home, and then there's where? I mean, there's the journey home, but it seems like the journey is already as close to home as you're gonna get, right?
Yeah, so close, but yet so far away.